You would call this ice cream.
Of course.
Legally, it's not.
Legally? I didn't know there's a law there.
Don't you have
This is our raspberry sorbet, Paula,
cream in here to build
with
color?
some cream
We have
in it.
10%. That's what the mix is, 10%.
Yeah, but you didn't put much in there.
Doesn't matter. I put in a 10% mix.
Right, that's what's right.
So whether I make 100 gallons or one, it's 10%.
Now, will this harden like an
Hey,
ice
Ken.
cream, or does it?
Uh-huh.
You
Ken.
can put it in the
You can harden this?
Of course. It's good, isn't it? Now imagine if you made cherry, chocolate, grape, mango, all Italian ices, and put in 18 ounces of cream. You'd have this. And your competition won't, except if they're watching. But there it is. And my friend, I told you, he built an amazing business on cream ice because I told him to put cream in his Italian ices. And now that's all he sells, by the way. No ices, no ice cream. Cream ice. And there's a line every night to get in the store.
Can you call it ice cream, or can you call it gelato? Or
You can call it
is
whatever
there a
you want.
legal job for certain?
You can call it klodge. Doesn't matter. Once word gets out, you don't have to call it anything. They'll be lined up at your store. This is pretty good. Did they try any?
I just gave some to Paula, but she's out at the post office. So I'll freeze the rest of this.
Okay.
I want some more?
Hey Jeff, question. Your friend, so he only puts cream in there, right?
Well, he puts the mix.
Oh, he does put
Yeah.
the mix, okay.
Cream, I don't think cream is going to do it. You need, because you need the skim milk, and you need a little sugar.
Jeff interchanges the word cream for mix.
Right, right.
I picked up on that. So next. Yes, please. Financing? We use a company up in New York called Sterling Capital Leasing, and they're very good. Emery Thompson doesn't do any financing, so because again, it's not my forte. I build machinery and teach people how to run it, so I leave the financing to a finance company. The reason I use this particular company, Sterling Capital Leasing, it's Barry, B-A-R-R-Y, at sterlingcap.net, like sterling silver. And the reason I use them is there's a lot of companies who have approached me for financing machines. And they do cars and boats and airplanes. And the rates are based on, you know, how easy is it to dispose of the machine? Not that you ever would with an Emery Thompson, but how easy is it to dispose of it if they had to? And they know what to do with a car or a boat or an airplane. But a piece of dairy equipment, they haven't a clue. They don't want to turn down my business, so they raise the rates to cover their liability. Well, Barry has been working with me, Taylor, and Electrofreeze for many, many years. And even though I share them with other companies, I know the best when I see it. So that's what I use them. You have to be forewarned that private financing is not inexpensive. The banks are not giving out any money anymore. Gee, I wonder if it's Obama's fault. But anyway, the banks aren't giving out any money. So private lending is going to be more expensive than going to your Uncle Louie. So be forewarned. But then again, they make a very good case that you're writing it off against taxes and everything else. And quite frankly, if you don't have $9,450 for this machine to get in business, financing might be a viable way to go. What I don't see anymore is I used to get phone calls from some of my bigger customers buying the 11-gallon machine, $33,000, and they want to finance it for the tax write-off. Well, now the rates are so high, it doesn't pay. They say, oh, heck, you know, it's cheaper for me to pay cash than to you know, try to get a tax write-off. So it depends on the individual situation. Oh, boy.
You don't have any not frozen, do you?
No. And what's our next formula?
6 quarts.
6 quarts. Okay, we're going to have to stir.
Yeah, we're going to have to open it up. I sometimes open them up.
Do a bladderectomy to it?
Yeah, a bladderectomy.
I haven't done one of those in years, have you?
Oh, yeah.
Last one I did was not pretty.
A bladderectomy.
A bladderectomy, oh boy. I don't think I want to watch. You do it. Oh, didn't think it would be that frozen. Well, while we're waiting for Jeff to do the bladderectomy, let me see what else I can talk to you about. I told you about NICRA, National Ice Cream Retailer Association. Oh, I want to show you Malcolm's book. Let me go get a copy of that.
If this were all over the floor and I mopped it up and put it back in here, nobody has any objections, right? Okay, a bladderectomy. We need a sterile knife.
I want to tell you about this book because this is really helpful. It's called Incredible Ice Cream, and it's written by Malcolm Stogo. Malcolm Stogo is a ice cream and frozen dessert consultant. He's written a number of books. This, Gay, come over here for a second. This is my sister Gay.
I'm the oldest.
Yeah, I was going to say that we're twins, but she's a few minutes older, or is it 5 years? Somewhere in there. Anyway, Gay lived in Illinois, she and her husband Bill, and we convinced them to move down here to Florida. And it's a great move, as you can see. She's Sadie approved. And Gay helps out in the business sometimes, and that's why I asked her to stop by. We made some Grand Marnier ice cream. That was fantastic. We also made some raspberry frozen yogurt. It was horrible.
It was?
Yeah, it's still bad. We're still not having any luck with it.
You have a thing about yogurt.
I know, it's not working.
It's not ice cream.
It's not working. It's not ice cream. We'll see you later. I use this book when I'm coming up with the formulas because they're all perfect. There's over 300 recipes. This book is $65, which is a lot of money, and I think it's worth every penny of it because it's really a college education in frozen desserts. And one thing I really like about it is the bibliography in the back. It lists every company, equipment, flavors, cups, spoons, everything you could ever need is in here as far as where to buy it. And these are all companies that Malcolm and I personally know and are very pleased with. I tell people, like, here's guava water ice, pear water ice, mango coconut sorbet, apple cranberry sorbet, all sorts of different things. I'm not a chef. In fact, I can't cook. If I don't have a barbecue grill out back, I can't cook, period. But if I had to say, if I was called upon and said, you've got to make blueberry pancakes today, I don't know how to do it. So I'd probably go get Paula's copy of The Joy of Cooking. I'd follow the recipe exactly, and I'll come up with a darn good blueberry pancake. And then if I decide to open up Thompson's House of Blueberry Pancakes, I will, over the next few months, adapt the Joy of Cooking recipe to my own personal taste. So it'll be totally different from what's in here, or just slightly different, but it'll be mine, and it'll be what I am selling. And that's what you do with this book, is you are taking a recipe that already works and then just modify it to your own personal taste. So anybody can call us up about this or see Paula.
I have a very important question.
Yes.
You have any more of this?
That's it.
You're kidding.
No.
Well, we have to adapt more than the cream.
That's all we have?
Yeah, well, that's all you gave me. And we have 6.
Well, this is for the CB350. Ah, it's too much mix. That's why. You already poured it in?
This is the mix.
And what's in there? What's that?
6 quarts of mix and vanilla.
Good, we're safe. Give me 4 quarts of mix. 3.5 quarts of mix. I'll do it.
No, I'll do it.
You do it.
3.5
Give me
quarts.
3.5 quarts of mix, and then follow everything else.
But we don't have 9 ounces of this.
We'll use, this is 8. It'll be close enough.
This is 6.
Well, it depends if you're reading it down or if you're reading it up.
Hey, I bet.
It'll work.
Okay.
Okay, so give me 3.5 quarts of mix, because it was meant to go in the CB350. So that means I've got to start rinsing this out, which isn't that hard to do. So that book is extremely helpful.
I don't like this. Somebody hold this. Okay, 3.5 you said?
Yeah, should I move the $65 book? Yeah, I think so.
Alan, why are you standing at arm's length?
Now, it's
Okay.
you know, I believe that when you learn how to drive a car, you hopefully also learned how to change a tire. You don't expect to have to change the tire, but it's good to know how to do it. So in our business, you do learn to adapt. Right now, even though the mix has been thawing in the refrigerator for 4 days, we've got some ice crystals in it. Now, for Italian ice, that doesn't make any matter. When we just made this sorbet, the ice cream had a little bit of crystals in it, but I knew it was going to go away in the sugar water. If any of these ice crystals stay this way and go into the machine, you're going to taste it in the ice cream. You're going to taste little chunks of ice. So we have to completely warm this up or dissolve all the ice crystals before we can make ice cream. We could even put it in the machine and let it do it on a slow speed.
That's what I do.
Yeah, we'll put it in the machine and do it on a slow speed. Because anything that's in the mix as far as little frozen crystals is going to translate right into the ice cream and it'll ruin it. We don't want to forget these either. I bought 3 bags,
Well,
two for the machine and one for us.
Yeah, you don't put them in until it's well into it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. So where else was I? Cleaning the machine, yes. I got to clean the machine.
And it
Thank you.
has pink in it. So.
Yeah. So we don't want the pink and the white mint.
No, we don't want pink in there.
So this is really, if we had planned this better, if I had planned it better, you would go from, you would make this product and then you would make the raspberry, because if a little of this gets into the raspberry, you're never going to notice it. But if any raspberry gets into the white chocolate, you'll see it. But for the most part, you don't have to clean. If you go from chocolate to vanilla, you're going to do more cleaning than if you're going the other way. And you just put in any amount of water, it doesn't matter. And just turn it on. And just let that slosh around.
Now, Steve.
Yeah.
You reduced the ice cream by the mix by almost half, but yet you took 2/3 of the mint, so it'll be a little stronger.
I
right?
wanted it strong.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I was surprised when you said I didn't have enough mint, because I knew I originally did. I do these late at night, so you never know what you're going to get. But that is, that is part of the business. There's a very popular flavor up in New England called sweet cream ice cream. Well, sweet cream ice cream is the dairy product with absolutely nothing in it. And it came about, and you'll see signs that, chalkboards out front, special today, sweet cream ice cream. That means the ice cream maker was up till about midnight making ice cream, and he was so tired that he forgot to put the vanilla in or whatever other flavor he was making, and he just ran the mix and said, oh hell, froze it and put out a sign, sweet cream ice cream. And there are stores who specialize in sweet cream ice cream, and all it is running the dairy product with no flavor in it.
And my most popular flavor in my store is called Mystic Slide, like a mudslide. And it came about because I was making, in one day, I was making amaretto fudge and I was making Kahlua fudge. And when I was pouring it, I got them mixed up. So I went on the internet and I found out what uses both of them, and it was a mudslide, or B52, and now that's my most popular flavor.
Wow. So even the mistakes can be turned around.
You want to rinse that once more?
Yes. Oh, thank you. Any questions so far, anybody? Okay.
What do you think about the seeds in that last ice cream? You did? Stuck in my teeth.
Okay, so you strain yours?
I don't use those.
Oh, okay. Malcolm Stogo and I disagree on that. He wants his strained.
Right.
And I say, how do you know it's watermelon if it doesn't have seeds in it? So how can it be raspberry if it doesn't have seeds? I always wanted to make a watermelon Italian ice using a watermelon extract. You can't really use fresh watermelon because when you squeeze a watermelon, all you have is water. There's no, that and cantaloupe, there's not a lot of flavor. So use a watermelon extract, like one of these guys. And I always thought it'd be fun to put chocolate chips in, like seeds, except they're chocolate chips.
taste that you're referencing here?
I'll pass it around. It's a very good company called Versace. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Versace?
Berzaci.
Designer paste?
Berzaci. Which one are we working on? This one?
This one.
Okay. And this comes from Italy, and
Get it all out.
it's got just a great, great taste. And that was the last of it. I made this with chocolate. I used this and chocolate chips and some candy canes at Christmas time. But that's a real nice product. Isn't that strong? I think it's great. And these people don't even talk to me because they're from Italy. They won't talk to me. But it doesn't stop me from recommending what I think is the best. Yeah. Yes. Well, it's a paste, but it's all mint. There's no dairy in it. No, it's just the paste, and it doesn't take a lot. A lot of the Italian flavors. Here, I'll show you some of the other Italian flavors. This is the other thing I get crazy about with Italian flavors is the names. I think I'm off camera, but let me read off some of them. Mirtillo, well, that's blueberry. Fruta di Bosco, that's my favorite. Fruta di Bosco, doesn't sound great, just rolls off the tongue. Fruta di Bosco, it means mixed berries. Tiramisu, of course, is a real great Italian flavor. I was setting up a gelateria in West Texas, and the first problem we ran into was the Italian names. People don't like to be insulted. So this guy pulls in with his pickup truck, the dogs and the hounds in the back and the gun rack and the whole works. Sounds like my brother-in-law. He comes in, he reads the sign and says, "Oh wow, let me try some of this here tiramisu." And and the girl goes, "I'm sorry," or the server goes, "I'm sorry, it's tiramisu." Well, he was embarrassed and he leaves. So we lost the sale, and they said, "What do we do? We got a problem." I said, "Let's do like I do in New York. I run into a lot of different names. I have to remember how to pronounce them properly, so I break them down phonically." So we actually put up on the signs tiramisu, and then below it put terra, as in land, ma, as in mother, and su, tiramisu. Now he walks in, and he says, "Hey, Bo, come with me. Well, I'm going to get you some gelato." So they walk in, and they're looking at the flavor and says, "Get my friend here some tiramisu." And his friend goes, "Well, damn, where'd you learn how to speak Italian?" And it worked perfectly. Sometimes you have to do that in business. You have to, hello, no. You have to adapt. So they do have some strange flavors, but this company, Fabry, was formed the same year that we were, incorporated in 1905. And Mrs. Fabry, at the time, was making up all these wonderful jams and jellies that she was putting into these beautiful blue porcelain jars with hand-etched royal blue inscribing on it. And she and her family turned it into a whole business. Nowadays, they're like the Kennedys. There's so many Fabrys. Sadie's getting thrown out. We left some the wine sorbet for you in the freezer. Talk about stealing the show, Sadie. There's so many Fabrys that now, it used to be that if you're going to work if you're part of the Fabry family and you wanted to work there, you had to get a master's degree. Now you have to get a master's degree and you have to work on the production line for a couple of years before you're even allowed in the front offices. But they are a great, great company. There's also a very good company, Pre-Gel. I don't know as much about the history, but if you're going to do gelato flavors, Pre-Gel and Fabry are the very best. And call me, because there's Fabry North America is up in Brooklyn, New York, and they've got a great person working there, and I'll give you his name, John Yotis, and his phone number, and he'll really help you out.
Steve, that's just mixing.
That's just mixing? Okay. We'll give it another minute to mix. One thing I found about a successful ice cream business, on the ices, there aren't too many suppliers. There's only a handful of them. which is good. And I try to use fresh when I can. Ice cream, there's a lot of different suppliers, just tons and tons of them. And there's a company that I used for a long time that was formed during the, let me just let Sadie out. Okay, you can go find Paula. Goodbye. There was a company that was formed during the first oil embargo in the 70s up in New York, and they said, you know what, we have one truck delivering the dairy product, another one is delivering the flavors, another one's delivering the tubs. Why don't we form a company that delivers everything for the ice cream business and, you know, drives one truck, saves everybody fuel and money. And that was great. And that's what a really good ice cream parlor does. They write one check a month to this company and everything gets delivered. Nice and simple. You'll look around here and you'll see all sorts of different names. The good ice cream parlor writes one check a month. The great ice cream parlor goes to specialists like me. I specialize only in batch freezers. I don't do soft ice cream machines. I don't do broaster ovens or deep fat fryers, just batch freezers. So you go to a vanilla company like Nielsen Massey or Lockhead for your vanilla. You go to an iRice or National for your Italian ice flavors. You go to Limpert Brothers for purees, Weber for extracts. So you might be writing 25 checks a month, but you're getting the very best. And I think most chefs will tell you that's what makes a great chef is, yes, they know how to cook, but they also know where to buy the ingredients. As much as I down badmouth chefs, I love them because the way they grow is they change jobs every 5 years. And when they do, they take all of us with them. You know, the new store, the new restaurant has to have a batch freezer, has to have a Vulcan oven, has to have, you know, this cuts of beef, you know, so they're very good at that. Let's turn this on and let it run. And I kept saying I was going to tell you about my timer and never did. So let me do that. What's not on this machine is a bunch of gadgets. I don't put anything on my machine unless it has a really good purpose. Every other machine on the market has a timer. I mentioned the codes, National Sanitation Foundation, Underwriters Laboratories,